Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Did we really need a fourth Halloween timeline?
Was this movie as bad as my dad thought it was going to be?
Do I feel the need to watch Halloween Kills or Halloween Ends?
All this and more on Gory Storytime.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig. And quickly, before anything else, I'm going to answer those 3 questions. You can go and line them back up because this will be real hard to do. No, no, and no. So this week we're reviewing Halloween Kills. Halloween.
That's the third one. Yes.
Ends is the next one.
That's the 4th one.
What?
There will only have been 4 movies in that timeline.
Oh, stop.
This is the 2nd one.
It's the 2018 version of Halloween that's a sequel to only the first one, sort of, but maybe not, because you said that there's things.
Yeah, but then they undid that. Like, they really solidified their belief of it only being the first one and the second one and the third one.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But the point is, they decided to reboot yet again by going back and just taking out some of the crappier stuff in the middle, but took out a couple good ones too in the mix. Anyway.
But they finally took out Resurrection, and that's fine with me.
This is basically the third of 4 movies we're going to review that one or both of us were leery going into. My problem is there's too many of these things where it's like, it's a sequel to the first one. It's got the same name as the first one, so that when you look it up, you have to put the date by it. And it's like, that's so dumb.
That is dumb.
I hate that Scream 5 was that way, even though it didn't reboot the franchise, though. Like,
no, it just revitalized it.
I mean, it should have been called Scream 5.
It should have been.
The fact of the matter is, it should have just been Scream 5. But whatever.
5 Cream.
Yeah, that's dumb. But back to this movie. Here's the premise. This unstoppable killer who once murdered his family when little, once again escapes from a mental institution when being transferred from one to another and tries to go home on Halloween and murder people.
Keywords, though, trying to get home. That's what you said.
He was always doing that, though. You may recognize that as the premise of every Halloween movie outside of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Which, we'll get into it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's just another movie where Michael Myers is the killer.
Yeah, it sure is. And it's kind of generic in that sense, but we'll get into my feelings about it a little more. But first, why don't we show people this exciting trailer for this excellent movie?
I've waited for him.
Testing 1, 2, 3. We're on.
We're here to investigate a patient that killed 3 innocent teenagers on a Halloween in 1978. He was shot by his own psychiatrist and taken into custody that night, and has spent the last 40 years in captivity. Hello, Michael. I have something you might like to see.
Everyone in my family, turns into a nutcase this time of year. Yeah, I mean, your grandmother is Laurie Strode. She was almost murdered.
Wasn't it her brother who murdered all those babysitters?
No, it was not her brother. That's something that people made up.
Do you know that I pray every night that he would escape?
What the hell did you do that for?
So I can kill him.
Dad, look out!
The bus crashed.
Mom, what bus crashed?
Michael escaped.
Excuse me, somebody's in here.
Hello?
He's waited for this night. He's waited for me. I've waited for him. Get out! Go home! Get inside! You don't believe in the boogeyman? He's here! Michael! You should.
Can you close the closet door?
All right. So that's
You
another
see,
movie.
he escaped from the bus again and is killing people again.
Except in this timeline, he's only done that once before, not every movie.
The fifth one, he didn't escape like that because the fourth one ended with his death. Again.
It's been done. And done, and done, and done, and done, and I'm done. Anyway, here's the truth, though. You think we're here to review these movies because we're huge fans of horror movies. And you'd be right that we are huge fans of them, but that's not why we do this.
No.
What we actually are here for is to make piles and piles of cash.
Yes.
And how do we do that, Jay? We sell ourselves like
Yes.
hoes.
We do.
We
do.
pimp
To
ourselves out
any-
to whoever backs up a Brinks truck full
To
of...
any corporate entity willing to just use us as their host.
And none of them have been willing to do it more than once. In
Shows how
200
useful
plus
we are.
episodes. Yeah. Anyway, this week our actual products you can actually buy that really exist are, let's see, Gory Story Time is brought to you by I Have a New Idea, a video course on making movies that aren't just retelling other stories. Rumor has it that back in the day, you could think of a new idea in Hollywood and actually get it made if it was good. With such lessons as why reboot a series when you could start your own franchise, and do we really need a Part 18? Try I Have a New Idea today.
That would be useful for a few people to have. And by Slasher Candy Company. Yes. Make your Halloween or horror movie themed party even better with Slasher Candy. We base our candies on your favorite horror movies. Try our Freddy's Dreamsicle, an orange creamsicle flavored candies shaped like Freddy's glove. Freddy's glove sweater and hat. Leprechaun's pot of gold, chocolate gold coins, Candyman's honey drops, or Michael's mask-shaped peanut butter cups. Whatever your favorite horror movie is, we have the candy for you. Slasher Candy Company, a cut above the rest. That's great.
All right.
That's great.
Anywho.
Sell that to Spirit Halloween.
I mean, sell it at Spirit Halloween.
Sell it that.
Anyway, All right. Is there anything you want to say about this movie before we get into the behind the scenes, or meat and beef, as you like to call it?
I would say go watch it before we spoil it, but the spoilers are Michael kills people.
I mean, pretty much.
There's not. I mean, regardless of
the
a couple
final
of
girl
retcons,
stays final.
I mean, a couple of retcons that everybody knows of now. There's no things to spoil in this, really.
I mean, if anyone knows anything about the series, they know that she's coming back for Halloween Ends. So it's like they know that she made it out of this one. If she made it through the next one and into the third and this,
unless we just saw her die and didn't,
trilogy,
because that's possible in these movies.
Anyway, the film's producer is Malik Akkad, who's the son of Mustafa Akkad, the producer of the original 1978 Halloween. Mustafa Akkad was murdered along with his daughter Rima, Malik's sister, in a terrorist bombing of an Amman Jordan hotel in 2005. Jamie Lee Curtis has recounted how the first person she saw when she came on the set the first day was Malik, and she remembered him as a 7-year-old child visiting the set during the production of the original film. She added that seeing Malik for the first time since his father's death immediately brought her to tears.
Wow, I didn't know anything about that. That's crazy. As with the original Halloween from '78, Michael Myers is listed in the credits not as Michael Myers, but the Shape.
The role of Allison, Laurie's granddaughter, became somewhat of a coveted role. Multiple popular actresses, including Lucy Hale and Emma Roberts, met with Danny McBride to personally talk about this movie. However, the studio decided they wanted to go back to the roots of the first movie and cast an unknown actress, similar to how Jamie Lee Curtis was cast in the original. You know, having super famous Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh as parents meant she was a nobody.
Yes. I mean, she was a nobody. She hadn't been in anything yet.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm sure she didn't have any sort of leg up with, like, celebrity parents that, like, were known for...
No, she was hiding from them because they lived in Haddonfield. Didn't you understand
Anyway.
this?
The song.
The song that is playing when the boy and his dad notice the bus crash is a Western version of the song that Laurie sings throughout the original movie. This song can also be heard during the end credits. What is it called?
That'd be nice to know, right? Jake Gyllenhaal helped convince Jamie Lee Curtis to reprise her role of Laurie Strode for the film. Jake Gyllenhaal is a family friend of Curtis and is dubbed by her as an unofficial godson.
In the child's bedroom, the rotating lamp features a clown with a knife, a nod to the first killing in the original film.
All right. On the TV, a newscaster can be heard describing the events of the original film as the babysitter murders. This was the original title Carpenter wanted for Halloween. It was only changed to Halloween after the producer, Irwin Yablans, thought up the idea to release it near Halloween.
Became the highest grossing Halloween film in its open weekend.
The date the film was released in the UK and USA is the day Michael Myers was born, October 19th.
Oh, that's cool. From the original Halloween '78 cast, only Jamie Lee Curtis, Nick Castle, and PJ Soles return. Soles plays a teacher as her original character, Linda, died in the first film. Original director John Carpenter returns as executive producer and is credited for his music score. Although Carpenter generally prefers not to be personally involved in sequels and remakes of his works, he usually accepts an original screenplay credit. Producer Jason Blum convinced him into taking a more active role in this movie as a spiritual advisor. Carpenter met director David Gordon Green and writer Danny McBride, loved their pitch of the story, and contributed with several script ideas.
A radio call coming over the police band mentions disturbance at 707 Meridian, a tribute to the real-life address of the Myers house in Halloween 1978 before it was moved a few blocks down.
Two kids bump into Michael before he grabs the hammer from the garage. One kid is shouldering a toy boombox, a tribute to a scene in Halloween 2, where Michael is bumped into by Dick Warlock's real-life son carrying a boombox.
All right. Michael Myers is 61 years old in this film.
Danny McBride said that they originally planned to do 2 back-to-back movies, but they decided to scale it back to 1 film. We were like, let's learn from this and see what works and what doesn't. But we definitely have an idea of where we would go with this branch of the story, and hopefully we get a chance to do 2 back-to-back sequels. Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends were subsequently greenlit in July of 2019.
In 2017, when promoting Alien Covenant, the Empire Film Podcast, it was joked that Danny McBride would also be starring as Michael Myers due to his large build, which McBride immediately shot down. Oh God, no. Mike's supposed to be terrifying creeper with good posture, not Homer Simpson.
Throughout the film, several characters talk about Cameron's dad, Lonnie, and what a troublemaker he was and continues to be. In the original Halloween, Lonnie Elam was a 6th grade bully who constantly harasses Tommy Doyle, the boy Laurie was babysitting. He would later be scared by Dr. Loomis outside the abandoned Meyer house.
The gas station is an almost exact replica of the gas station appearing in Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, down to the icebox outside. So why put a shout-out to a movie that they're denying exists? Now I hate that fact.
Well, John Carpenter claimed that this would be the last Halloween film, even though there were contractual obligations for a sequel. As of November 2019, 2 sequels are already in development.
In the early phases of pre-production, not reproduction, that's a different thing altogether. You can tell what's on my mind. The film said it will not be a remake nor a reboot, but a recalibration of the character of Michael Myers. However, after co-writer and director David Gordon Green and co-writer Danny McBride took over, these 2 stated it would be none of the aforementioned. It was going to be a direct continuation of Halloween from 1978. Worst thing ever.
At 59 minutes and 36 seconds, a trio of children can be seen together wearing a skeleton mask, witch mask, and jack-o'-lantern mask. They are nearly identical to the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch masks, in which the Silver Shamrock Company's masks are the driving plot device.
Yes. All right. Also...
Oh, and the kill count was 18. There were 18 people killed by Michael Myers in this movie.
Awesome. Specifically by...
I made sure.
Okay. Because sometimes they say the kill count, and it's like, oh, someone died in a car accident off screen, and it was mentioned offhandedly, and it's like, that's not really the same.
Not what we're doing.
And now for the Rotten Tomatoes scores. Quick, going over what that means. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't actually rate the movies. What they do is they just make a consolidation of all professional critics. They take their positive and negative reviews, and then they find an average. And so the number that they give is the percent of positive reviews out of all of the reviews that are in. They also do that with the people. For this movie, the critics have it at
79%.
And the people have it at 71. So that means 8% of average people realized what I realized compared to the percentage of critics. I am not thrilled with this movie. But that being said, what would you say your favorite scene in this movie is?
See, it's less of a scene and more of a thing, which is I just love the special effects. I mean, when Jason Blum gets his hands on a movie, for the most part, they have great special effects, and this was among those.
It had some good special effects. I'll give it that. What I will say, my favorite thing is there were a couple of nods to the original film. Spoiler alert, there was a scene in the original where Michael goes out a window from the second story, lands on the ground, and then the next time someone looks, he's gone. Well, Michael throws Laurie out a window, and when he goes to look, she's gone. And I thought that was cool. And then she went to hunt for him in a closet the way he was hunting for her in a closet for one scene.
Yeah.
I like those little nods to the stuff. I liked it in Scream 5.
Yeah.
I like, the problem is this one, it was almost like they were pointing it out to you
Right,
So even though it's
as,
it was like, look, see what we did? It's the thing from the thing that was good. And there's a
And
lot
they
of
did
that
linger
lately.
on it a couple of times
Yeah.
where it's like, see?
Yeah, they want to like, oh, a million
like, even
YouTubers
that-
are going to come out and
even
say
that
that
I
there's a
mocked.
hidden thing that
Even that
they
I mocked while we
noticed
were watching. I
when-
was like, oh, Lori just jumped out the window and disappeared. Did you see that, Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your least favorite thing?
I guess my least favorite thing is I'm able to accept a lot of the nonsense things that they're throwing at me in this movie by making them not siblings, by making his driving force not her. The issue is his doctor. His brand new doctor. The
Well,
dumb-ass doctor.
the actor, died.
No. The character. I'm saying his new doctor is just a reject and should stay that way. Because
I mean,
he was indoctrinated by Michael Myers to help Michael Myers
no,
kill
he just
Laurie?
wanted to see what
Like-
Michael Myers would do let out again. Because
Right,
he
it
had
was
like
basically-
bloodlust.
Right.
It's-
So he stabbed a guy in the neck.
Yeah,
and
it was bad.
Brought Michael to the middle of the woods to fight Laurie when that wasn't even what Michael wanted to do.
Well, then there was my least favorite thing, which is honestly, I don't like this. You know, it's a sequel to the first one, but none of the others count thing. I just hate it. Listen, Jamie Lee Curtis shouldn't have come back.
No.
The reason is she died.
3 or 4 times.
No, she died once. They, in 4, were like, oh, you know, she left the area, blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't officially that she was dead. It was that she was in hiding or something. Whatever.
I mean, I thought she died in a car accident.
Or maybe that's... Or
because
she
her
left
daughter-
and then died in a car.
Right.
Well,
Her daughter, Michael's cousin, was the driving force of the 4th movie.
that'd be his niece.
Or niece then, I guess. They kept calling him cousin.
No, it was her cousin, not her kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was her
But
cousin.
we're not here to
Oh.
review that one. See, that's the problem with all these stupid timelines. You can't keep them straight. And why have a nod to something in part 4 when this legit said that never happened? It's like, look, aren't we clever about the thing that we don't want you to remember happened? I hate it.
Yeah.
This movie, like, it was a generic movie. If they didn't take away the fact that they were siblings, because that was a major factor in, like, the reason he went after his niece or his cousin or whatever she was.
Was he basically wanted to end the family bloodline?
But pretty much, like,
And then it would end
was
with him,
always
he would
about.
die,
It was
and-
always about family, though. I didn't even like that so much because, like, it was about wanting to end his immediate family, and that would have been Laurie. But you know, Jamie Lee Curtis was done doing them at that point, and I don't blame her. The fact that she came back for 2 more in the 90s was weird, and the fact that she's back again
For 3 more.
anyway.
It's crazy.
What would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm giving it a 6.
I'm going with like a 3.5, and the half is because I give it a little more, basically because it's not that it's a bad movie as far as if you took out those stupid things that erase the past, it's just another one.
Like, and if you're like a newcomer
But
to
if
the
you
series,
like them, another one's fine. But don't.
and if you're a
screw it up.
newcomer to the series and you just watched the 78 one, this one, and Halloween Kills, it holds up pretty well. The issue is there's like
Except
30
for all
movies
those
in between.
Aren't We Clevers that went to other movies that no longer exist.
I didn't even notice the gas station.
But you notice the masks from 3, but
I
at
noticed
least
the masks
that's
from
one
3,
that's
but
not
that,
in this
having that nod is
timeline.
acceptable to me.
Like, that's not in the timeline because in that movie, Halloween was a movie because it was on
Which
in
does
the
make it a
background.
little weird for those masks to exist in the movie world
So
too.
in each world, the other one's a movie. They did that with Scream and Halloween H2O. Like, they both, like, one referenced Halloween and Halloween H2O referenced Scream.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like a shout out to each other. I don't mind that as much, but this. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going 3.5, and the only reason I'm giving it the extra half is, as far as the kills and stuff, it was still fun. It's just I like the lore, and they shat upon it.
Yeah. If you're just one of those who likes a slasher movie for the sake of a bunch of people dying,
Then it can be fun.
this is a good one for you, and the next one is especially good for you with the kills, and there's just blood, and they wanted to make sure that everyone knew, oh, you're coming in to see this for the kills.
I mean, and they put the word in the title.
For the next one, yeah.
Except it should have been called,
Michael Kills.
yeah, that should have been Halloween Kills, because the
Who's
day
Halloween?
doesn't kill. But anyway.
The Halloween Curse. Oh,
why
wait,
don't
no, they
we
did that
do
already.
the stuff that goes over on that side. Yeah, that.
Yes. All right. So you can watch this show on Fact TV channel 1076 Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
You can follow us on Facebook. And when I say follow us, you can follow Gory Storytime. We've got our own page. And you can follow Fact TV, the station at which we film this wonderful
Yes.
program.
Yes. Oh, you can go to factdate.com and watch a bunch of the back episodes. You could watch the things that I say every other time that we're on the show. The back episodes of this and the many other things that they have. And I just smacked the microphone. How did that feel?
How did that sound? Probably crappy.
I hope you have headphones in.
And you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase.
I'm at Jiggly Firm Brain, and I just tweet funny things that he says.
Usually out of context. Not always, but usually.
If the context makes it sound worse, I'll certainly add it.
Yeah, it's whatever the funniest version would be.
Yep.
Sometimes that's with. Most of the time it's out of context that makes it even better.
Yes.
And I admit that.
Oh, yeah.
And you can also check out my YouTube page, or YouTube channel. It's Juggalo Jakes, all one word. You can also check out Fact TV's page. Look for Fact TV. Subscribe, click that bell, all those things that the YouTubers like to say. And that's about it, right?
Yeah. So until the next time, until next week, I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and father, Craig.
And sweet dreams.